Hey everybody, welcome to 60 Seconds with Tower Tim. I'm checking in here at 3 weeks. Wow, look at how big these plants are. Most of them are almost full grown and ready to harvest. Wow, I just want to remind everybody, I've set my timer for 18 hours on and 6 hours off. That's how I've been able to get this tremendous growth using these grow lights. And I want to walk around here in a minute and show you what I'm harvesting. But if you remember a week ago, I had mentioned that we want to keep our plants within these grow lights, right? We don't want them growing past because there's not enough light out here for them. So literally at 3 weeks, most of these plants have gotten big, they're ready to harvest. A few of the plants, like purple basil, grow a little bit slower. We're in the cooler season, so our night times get cold inside, so the basil's growing a little bit slower, even indoors, than normally would grow in the summertime. So today we're going to walk through harvesting. We've got to get this tower harvested. We want to get it back down to size. And so we're going to start here down at the bottom. And let's take a look. This is some purple kale down here. Now this is called cluster planting. We've got quite a few kale. I think about 6 kale planted in this one rock wool cube. Now, because I waited to harvest, some of these kales indoors have already started to stretch a little bit. Kale are very sensitive to low light. Some of these other plants started to shade them out a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I want to be careful not to cut off the growing tip. At the center of each plant is a growing tip, and that's where the new leaves come out. If we cut below that growing tip on any of these plants, we're probably going to kill it off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around to each kale. I'm just going to top it off just like that and make sure that I don't cut the growing tip. I'm going to go over to the next kale here, top it, go over to the next kale, top it, top that one. I'm going to get some of the lower leaves around there as well. Any big leaves sticking out. And now what I've just done is I've really opened this plant up to getting good light back in here. If you look at these, we're going to take off any old leaves or bad leaves. This also really helps with pest control. We really want the air to easily blow through the plant. We want the LED lights to get on there, right? So every one of these growing tips we saved is going to reflush into a new set of leaves. So I'm just going to walk around the tower and repeat that here. Let's see, we've got some green kale over here. So we're going to go ahead and get that cut. Again, I'm making sure that I'm not cutting any of those growing tips off. Get all those leaves down below. Okay, so that's, sometimes you can just use your fingers to pinch them off too. So we got a nice clean plant there. So look at, we've already got a whole bowl full of kale from just 2 plants, and that's within 23 days, guys. So what's the next plant we want to tackle here? We've got some lettuce. So let's come in and take a look at this lettuce here. We're going to go ahead and we don't want to cut the growing tip on that lettuce. So I'm just going to take my hand and kind of bunch the leaves together and cut. I'm going to bunch the leaves together and cut. This is a red freckles lettuce, I believe. And so we saved the growing tip, and all those new leaves are going to reflush there out of the center. And we've got another variety of green leaf lettuce over here. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. Make sure we save the growing tip, but cut all the lettuce back. So again, we got a big bowl full of lettuce now, just off of, look at how much lettuce off of just those 2 plants. All right, what's the next thing we want to harvest? Chard. Let's take a look at this is some ruby red chard over here. Now let's take a look in close. You can see again, we've got about 4 chard plants here, and you can see the new growth. There's a new growth. It's all coming out of the center down by the base. So with this chard, I can literally just grab a whole bunch in my hand, and then I'm going to cut it above all those growing tips. I might have even cut a little bit of some of the leaves on the growing tips like you see right here, and that's okay because the next leaf behind it is going to come out full. So that'll just come out as kind of a half a leaf. Now let's go over to the other side of the tower here. That's some ruby red chard, and over here we've got the bright light Swiss chard or the multicolored Swiss chard. So again, we're going to try to grab everything in one bunch. Cut it back like that. Cut off all the excess leaves that are still there. Again, haven't damaged any of the growing tips. All the growing tips are preserved, so these are going to grow out just fine.